So on the last video, I was talking about, I believe that being out of the service, and this was around January of 2022. I got up to close to 300 pounds. I think I was 294 or 296. And I believe that I was going through something mentally, man, because I had no purpose. You know, I decided not to drive, drive trucks. I wasn't dispatching because I believed that I needed to drive semi trucks before I started to dispatch, or before I began the dispatching. So my business was at a standstill because without me driving trucks, I didn't feel qualified to dispatch drivers, because how can I dispatch, at least for me, and I don't know what they're going through, what the drivers are going through. So I felt as if I would feel like a fraud. So I didn't do that. And so now I was trying to figure it out. And I was job hopping, and well, before I even started job hopping, I had a few dollars saved up, and I wound up buying a course on how to trade. And this was when was this? This was in December/January of 2022. No, 2021, I'm sorry. So I bought the course. I had, my dad, my stepdad was investing. That's the first time I heard him investing, when he invested in Apple. That's the only thing I know of. The only two things I heard: investing and Apple. That's it. He didn't. So, like I said, my dad was a restaurant owner. He wasn't day trading. I didn't hear Forex. I didn't hear, different type of stocks to invest in. Really nothing about the knowledge. So because that wasn't his specialty. So but I was seeing everything online, just like everybody else, just seeing everything online, on YouTube to be exact, about investing, about trading and day trading, and it was appealing. But did I think I could do it? I really wasn't thinking like that. I was just thinking that it's a way for me to make money, and I can be at home. I don't really have to go to 9 to 5. That's what I was thinking about. So I spent $5,000 on that course. $5,000. I look back at it, and I still am indifferent about it, on how I feel, because if I didn't spend that amount of money, would I have stuck with trading? Would I be making this video right now? But I didn't learn nothing from there. And even when I went back, because even when I went back, just recently, like a few months ago, I looked at the content in there, and I'm like, there was no strategy. There was nothing that I thought was of, I'm not gonna say it wasn't value in there, but I didn't get anything from it, because it was primarily teaching about stocks, and it was about also talking about options, but there wasn't a specific strategy in that video. So there are a lot of people that have different courses, and some people have certain strategies, but that was an introduction to trading and an introduction to the options game. All introductions. Nothing, I believe, was detailed. So I spent that money. I actually spent 2 months on that course, and I quit. The information was just astounding. It was more information than I have ever taken in at one time, and it just was a brain overload, and I just couldn't do it. I spent $5,000, and I lasted 2 months. That, man, am I just stupid? You might say that I am. That was just crazy. And so now I go again, and throughout, I'm gonna cut it short, but throughout this time, I'm trying to find work, trying to figure out what my purpose is in life, because being out of the service, I didn't really have no purpose. So now I'm getting out of this uniform, and now I'm trying to figure out who I am. That's one of my pieces of advice for people that's in the uniform, man, or in life general, man. Figure out your purpose. Figure it out quick. Don't go through life trying to figure things out, man, you don't, or not knowing your purpose, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some deep diving, and that's kind of how I found that teaching is in my purview, is a part of what I believe my purpose is. And teaching what, I don't know, but I know that I am very intrigued by trading. Very, and I've stuck with it, and I learned a good bit from it, and I can teach at least introductory part now. And the more I get, the more specialized and information I know, the more expert I get, then I can actually start teaching exactly what I do. But I'm trying to build up my receipts right now. So later, so like I said, was trying to find different jobs, trying to find my purpose. I was working at different odd jobs, and I later found, I believe in 2022, I found this woman online on YouTube doing a trend line strategy, but she was doing forex. And so I think 2022 was the first time I heard of forex. Prior to that, it was just stocks. So I heard of forex. Forex was appealing to me because I didn't have to have $25,000 in an account so I could day trade. I could trade at any time, right? The forex market is open 24/5, and I can trade with as little as, like, it's $20, $50. I've done it, so I know. And so I got $50 in an account right now that I'm trading with. So I can have that, and I can trade, and I can learn the skill. And so I'm like, man, and so I deep dived into it and learned a lot about it. And I was like, okay. So I bought this woman's course eventually, and I spent no, prior to that, my bad. Prior to that, yes, I was learning. It was 2022, early 2022, probably, I believe because I did stocks for about a couple months, that course, and then I stopped. And then later on, I picked up forex, learned about forex, and I purchased. It was a gentleman online. His name is Ben, and he had a course. I was looking at his course about supply and demand, and got his course. Spent about a couple months on it, or about 3 months this time. Then I quit. Then I stopped again. And so, like I said, information overload, man. It's not easy. It's not easy to grasp. It is not easy. But for some reason, I just didn't stop. Like, I took a break, but I just didn't just completely stop. And so even though I had stopped doing those courses, those two courses, the first one on stocks and then the second one on forex, I stopped doing those courses, but I kept looking at YouTube. I kept watching, like, periodically. I kept it in my mind, so I never, like, just totally just forgot it. And so by the time I got to July, and the reason why July is significant in 2022 is because I never stopped after that. I kept going. I kept learning. I didn't take no breaks. Kept going, kept learning. So by the time I got to her, I was familiar, because even though those courses were hard, the stock one that I initially spent $5,000 on, the other course that I purchased for about $300, that I'll tell you, the guy name was Ben. That was about $300. That was primarily forex. But even with those courses, even though I quit, I still was able to learn. And so I guess with me taking a break, I was able to digest the information, and then it was able to stick a little more, because I still was, I still kept the information, relevant in my mind, and I never stopped. And so when I got to her, I was like, okay, I understand. I see what you're doing. So I studied that course and finished her course it took me maybe about 2 or 3 months. On this video is about 10 minutes, so just stay tuned for part 3.